guys, it's Finn. So I'm just checking in to wish everybody a Happy New Year. And I've been kind of reflecting over Christmas, just kind of sitting there really and going, God, this time last year and la 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 la. Because so much has happened this year. So yeah, I just wanted to do a little vid to say Happy New Year and to just kind of do a bit of reflection really and talk about sort of things I'd like to achieve this year. So yeah, this time last year, God, it was awful. I was really struggling. I ended up going back on antidepressants because the wait for testosterone, it was just hideous. I got to a point where I just really couldn't wait any longer, and then I'd had my first GIC appointment in the December, and I think at the time it was a case of I'd been in so much denial about how bad it was. I was just focusing on surviving, that once I'd had that appointment, kind of all the denial lifted and I just felt absolutely dreadful. I'd had a really kind of bad time with attempting to go back to some volunteer work, thinking that I was ready, and I wasn't ready. It was bringing up way too much anxiety. I'd also had my benefits stopped because I'd failed a medical. So yeah, I was, January last year, I was kind of at my wit's end about everything. And it's just so funny, like now, seeing the difference compared to how I was then. Yeah, so much has happened this year. It's crazy, isn't it? I don't think I've ever had a year where this much has happened. To start hormones in the April and then have top surgery in November. So in 1 year, I'm pretty much done in terms of like where I want to be right now. You know, I've got to think about things of lower surgery. I'm not sure that I've got the opportunity to go and talk to somebody about that a bit more. But I don't know currently. So, don't know. So yeah, last year my New Year's resolutions were to kind of be more gentle on myself because of this kind of like pressure I'd felt in the January. I kind of made a decision just to stop everything. I put uni on hold. I decided not to worry about volunteer work and all of that and just literally put everything on hold, and that's the best thing I could have done for myself really, because it just gave me the time and the space to just completely focus on the build up to being given the go-ahead for testosterone, and also to adjust to testosterone, because as exciting as it was in the beginning, and still is, it was that kind of adjustment period, and I'm glad I wasn't studying or attempting to work then. You know, I could just focus on keeping myself steady and my mental health steady. So yeah, I'm really chuffed of actually how much I've improved in this kind of area, because I've got so much better at just not giving myself such a hard time as I used to. And starting tea has really helped this, because I've become so much more laid back than I once was. I don't give myself as hard a time as I used to. I'm still, you know, I've still got this perfectionist drive in me, but I'm learning to kind of turn that down, because a bit of perfectionism is good. You know, having a bit of drive to do the best you can is good, but it's when it flips over the other side and you start kicking yourself when you're not reaching your impossible goals. You know, I've learned to set more manageable goals and to just be gentle with myself. And yeah, I know that tea has actually played a massive part in that. Just feeling so much more comfortable in myself and okay with myself has allowed me to kind of treat myself with a bit more gentleness. My other New Year's resolution was my eating. Well, back then I was comfort eating a lot. I've abused food for years. I'm an addict, recovering addict, so that kind of spans everything. If, you know, whatever it is, I can get addicted to it, and food's been a big one for me, and I used to abuse it quite badly. And I was, back in January, I was comfort eating a lot, and that has improved a load this year. I worked really hard on it, because there was so many urges in me to kind of get skinny, because for me, being skinny meant I could kind of have that boy shape, and it was really hard not to give in to that urge, and I'm really chuffed that I didn't give in to that urge. And again, with being on tea, that's helped enormously, because it's changing my body now as to how my body should look, being that I'm male. I haven't lost any weight. I've kind of not cared as much though, really. Being on T, you know, it's going to take a while for things to settle, for the fat to redistribute and the weight to stabilise, and it's more important to me how I look now, and that my figure is becoming more male. My body type is becoming more male looking. So I have worked hard on it. I've done lots of exercise, especially leading up to top surgery, but I've not necessarily lost the weight that I was hoping to lose. I've not got a lot to lose, but it's just, you know, I'm carrying a little on my gut, especially after this Christmas, and our big cheese fests. It's always cheese fests. I'll actually link the video somewhere up here, so you can watch last year, and I was on about cheese fests then, so some things never change. What else have I got? Oh, the fact that I actually switched to using weights at home rather than the gym really, really helped. Again, being gentle with myself, pushing myself to go to the gym when I was so uncomfortable, wasn't working. I got a really good set of adjustable dumbbells and a Swiss ball to use at home, and that was so much better, so much more incentive. So that was the way forward for me with that. Big thing I really wanted to work on was my social life, and this is, I think, the one area that I've just kind of sprung forward in, especially since starting testosterone. I've talked about this loads, about how I think that dysphoria of kind of people not seeing who I really am, that people were seeing this female person, not me. So I was walking around with this kind of invisibility cloak, so it's no wonder I kind of felt as anxious as I did. I think it's partly biological and it's partly social. But either way, since going on testosterone, my ability to socialise, my confidence has just shot up. And the most important thing I did this year was go to the drama therapy sessions, and that helped so much. I met some really great friends there who I'm hoping to meet up with at some point in the next couple of months, and I actually did get to an FTM London meeting last year. I did one, so that's something. And I've met up with quite a few guys that I've met on YouTube, and then met up in real life. Chris and Will, and there's two Chris's, Chris with a K, Chris with a C, Will, Joe. I've met up with quite a few people, so my social circle is really, really expanding, and that makes me so happy to actually really want to spend time with people rather than dreading it. And again, to everybody I meet up with, I don't dread meeting you, it's just the anxiety. To not have to deal with that has just been absolutely wonderful. I haven't done so well with meeting up with old friends, but I think a lot of that is just that we've all moved on, and that's not necessarily about just the transition. You know, I don't drink anymore. I used to hang around with people a lot younger than me when I was drinking, and I think I'm growing up in all sorts of ways, and so I'm changing. So I'm just moving away from old friends and kind of moving in new circles. But that doesn't mean I don't care about my old friends. A hell of a lot I do, and they're still really important in my life. It's just I don't see them as much as I'd kind of hoped to, really. But things do change, and that's just, you know, how people move on. What else we got here? I think that's it, really. So that has been my biggest thing this year, is my newfound confidence. I'm so chuffed with how I've kind of progressed in that, because that's the one thing I wanted to do. And just having less social anxiety is just absolutely amazing. So this year, really, it's pretty much a continuation of all of this. Now I've had top surgery, I'm going to start getting back into exercise, so no pressure to go to the gym. I just can't be bothered, and I'm admitting it to myself. I'm not a gym bunny, but I really love doing that at home, so I shall carry on doing my exercises, weights, whatever, at home. I'm going to start swimming again as well. I can't wait to do that. I'd quite like to start something like Tai Chi or Qigong or whatever it's called, for something different. I want to keep getting out there and meeting new peeps. I'd really like to get more involved with the trans community this year if I can. I'm going to attempt to get back to work. I've got some volunteer work to hopefully start working with people from 13 to 25 who identify as LGBTQ as a support worker, kind of like, it's like a once a month drop-in group. So I'm going to ring up about that next week and see if I can get some volunteer work with them. So yeah, it's pretty much similar to last year, to get myself as fit and healthy now that my body responds in the way it should to exercise and looks male. So more of that. And get myself back doing some volunteer work. And hopefully a step towards finding a paid role somewhere by the end of the year, which would be really, really good. I feel really ready for it now, you know, and I'll be able to expand my social circle even more if I get some volunteer work. And I think really now it's just kind of getting back to life. My life up until now, the last 3 years really have been kind of like an inside job. It's been all about kind of sorting out my social anxiety, sorting out my transition, sorting out my recovery and all of that. And I think now the focus is going to be more on the outside, you know, really branching out there and getting myself back into work and what have you. Now that I'm as transitioned, as done as I want to be, all, you know, because everything's happened last year, you know, to start on T, I've changed enough that I'm read as male consistently. I feel confident and happy enough to go in social situations and start work. And I've had top surgery. So all there is now is just to let T keep doing its work. I have no plans, especially this year, sorry. I keep thinking it's next year. Yeah, this year I have no plans to have any more surgery. Whatever happens about lower surgery will not be happening this year. So this year is just letting T do its work a bit more and getting out there, more people, more involved with the trans community, some volunteer work, and just getting myself as fit and healthy as possible, really. So that's my goals for this year, and I will keep you informed about the volunteer job as soon as I hear anything. I'm nervous, but I feel more ready this time, and I'm going to learn from last time. If it doesn't go well, it's alright. Still to be gentle with myself, that's the plan. So yeah, that's me accountable on vid of what I'm going to achieve this year. So yeah, Happy New Year to everyone, and I wish you all the best, even though it's a late wish, all the best for 2014. Love you, bye.